Hey, hi everyone. My name is Jerry Wise. I've been a professional helper and coach and therapist for years, helping those to get their family of origin out of them. And I have specialized in narcissistic families, and that's having a narcissist in the family. And so you have a narcissistic family when you have a narcissist in the family, because they will all ping off the narcissist. No different than if you have an alcoholic in the family, you have an alcoholic family. It doesn't mean everybody in the family is an alcoholic, but everyone must dance to the tune of the alcoholic or the addiction, just like everyone must dance to the tune of the narcissist. Today, I want to talk about narcissistic parents and really odd behaviors they mimic. Narcissistic parents can't be a genuine self for many reasons. So they borrow or learn or mimic good behavior when they need it. Often they know how to mimic being empathetic. They have seen and see what people do to mimic being grateful. But oftentimes this is simply a telegraphing of this image to other people. Narcissistic parents will mimic positive behaviors or traits to look good to others, but it's not something that they experience inside genuinely. It's something they're reproducing so they fit in and so that they look positive. Let me give you a number of examples. And then I'm going to talk about at the end, what are some self-differentiating recovery things we can do as a result of these things. Narcissistic parents mimic confidence. Narcissistic parents mimic exaggerated self-assurance to assert dominance and to belittle others. So again, they will be uber confident about everything, but often they do it with a tin ear. If you know what a tin ear means, they just don't read the room. They don't, but they're very strong and they telegraph this and mimic that. Number two, narcissistic parents mimic expertise. Narcissistic parents mimic knowledge in areas they don't understand to appear to be superior and to maintain control. I'm sure you've had that happen with most people who watch this, where a parent will act as though they know about something and really they don't, but they are mimicking being experts in that area. Narcissistic parents mimic empathy. They mimic superficial concern when it suits their needs, often to manipulate others or to control others. And I think that's partly why we have been so confused. And when people come, they say, oh, but I remember my father doing this, or my mother doing that. And I'm sure they did do those things. And they may have felt positive at the time, but probably it's more than likely a mimicking of that behavior. And narcissists can mimic empathy, but it's not felt in here. And again, that's where the tin ear comes in. They don't read the room because it doesn't feel genuine. But boy, it can sound good. Narcissistic parents can mimic kindness. Narcissistic parents mimic acts of support to create leverage or indebtedness in their children and in others. And again, they will mimic that kindness. Like, do you see, and I think this is the way to think about their behavior. Do you see that I'm doing this? Do you see I'm being kind? Do you see I'm being empathetic? Normal people, whoever those are, but normal people don't go, do you see I'm being empathetic? We just are empathetic, or we might have confidence, or we might have expertise or kindness or show that. We don't go, do you see I'm doing this? And I think that's something to watch out for in evaluating other people's behavior. Does it look like they're doing it when they're saying, do you see I'm doing this? Because then that's not genuine. Narcissistic parents mimic a support for autonomy. They mimic encouragement or independence only to undermine it when it conflicts with their interest. You need to grow up. You just need to grow up. And you need to have your own thoughts and beliefs. But then if you have your own thoughts and beliefs, they will challenge those, ridicule them, and put them down. And again, they're mimicking a support for autonomy. It's not a genuine support of autonomy. And many people do that. Narcissistic parents mimic interest. Narcissistic parents mimic genuine curiosity about their children's lives as a means to control and monitor. Oh, I just want to find out from your teacher about this and this and this. And again, to look like they are interested in the child, but actually what they're interested in is data and information so they can use that to control or manipulate. Narcissistic parents mimic loyalty. They mimic unwavering dedication to family while readily betraying trust or confidences when it serves their interest or ego. And again, they will preach all day how you need to be loyal and not do this and not say that and keep our family secrets in the family, don't talk to anyone else. But if it serves their purpose, they're happy to talk to everybody about your failings or weaknesses or problems. Narcissistic parents mimic celebration. Parents mimic public praise of children's achievements while privately downplaying or sabotaging successes out of envy. And I think that's common. And again, just like with the swimmer who won the medal, the girl who won the gold medal for swimming, mother rushes up, and this is in high school or something, mother rushes up and hugs her and wants to share in that celebration. But she's sharing, but whose celebration is she sharing? It's look what I've done to produce this girl who's won this medal. And aren't I a great parent that I'm coming up and celebrating my daughter? Well, it may not be genuine. It may be for other reasons, or they're trying to telegraph something. They're not trying to truly celebrate with their daughter. Narcissistic parents mimic encouragement. They mimic supportive words while subtly undermining confidence. Narcissistic parents mimic martyrdom. They mimic exaggerated personal sacrifices to manipulate emotions and to gain sympathy. And again, they're wanting to telegraph their victimhood or martyrdom and what they've done for themselves, not for others in the family. Narcissistic parents mimic helplessness. They mimic vulnerability to elicit a sense of obligation from their children. Don't you see how I can't do this? Well, don't you know I'm 66 years old? And by the way, I'm older than 66. But I've had parents say, I'm 66 years old. You should treat me in a certain way. And it's like, well, when you want to be strong, you are. Now you want to be weak or helpless. And I don't know that 66 has anything to do with that. Narcissistic parents mimic fairness. They mimic equal treatment among all siblings in public while showing favoritism and scapegoating in private. Narcissistic parents mimic mediation. They mimic being peacemakers in conflicts they orchestrated to manipulate outcomes. So they mimic this mediation and look what I'm doing to be a peacemaker in all this, though I may have created all this in the first place. Narcissistic parents will mimic stability. They mimic emotional steadiness when it serves their image, but display volatility, raging, mood swings, who knows what, in private. Narcissistic parents mimic rationality. They mimic a calm demeanor to invalidate their children's emotional reactions. And again, they will all of a sudden become calm to telegraph how I am the sane one and you are the crazy one. So they might mimic rationality when they can't maintain that truly. Narcissistic parents mimic unconditional love. They mimic seemingly unconditional support when it aligns with their needs, but withdraws that affection or when children don't comply with their demands. So, what are some things that we can do? First of all, we want to learn to work on observing and not absorbing. Take a researcher's view and look at parents, families, or dysfunctional family members and watch versus absorb. And many times in starting and working coaching with someone, I'll begin to ask them to go and observe for a while. Be the observer. Take notes. Take mental notes. Actually, some people have taken written notes. And see what's going on in the family. Look at others with a more detached view to begin to see things differently. Secondly, you want to reduce your reactivity and sensitivity to their mimicking behaviors. If they're mimicking something, that's what they do. And that you becoming reactive to it is not going to change it or make it better. Reduce your reactivity to their mimicking behaviors. Just like if I'm winning the medal for the swimming, and my mother rushes up and is just, oh, my Jerry, you're just, or dad would come up. I think dad only came to one swim meet. And if he'd have come up and played the doting father and celebrating father, it'd be kind of like, what? And I could get reactive to that. Don't get reactive to that. Realize this is just normal things that they do. They're doing it for themselves. They're not going to change. And so reduce your reactivity to that. Thirdly, don't change them for you and don't change yourself for them. And particularly as adults, we want to work on stopping and giving up trying to change them and work on changing us. And us becoming more calm, more self-differentiated, more genuine, more real, and more confident. I also advise people don't fall for the positive mimicking behaviors. So many times, it's easier to not fall for the negative mimicking behaviors, but it's hard to not fall for the positive mimicking behaviors. And that's where if you have a narcissist, if they're love bombing you, and you soak it all in, you're falling for the positive mimicking behaviors. Don't fall for the positive mimicking behaviors. Stay detached even when there's positive behavior happening. I do have a program that will help you with learning how to be yourself. It's called The Road to Self. But first, I'd work on the free training, 84 minutes, free, doesn't cost you a thing. Sign up for that below. I hope you'll subscribe, comment, and like this video. Thank you for joining today. Have a great day and be wise.